Hi, Mark Sipp, Crocker Farm Auction. I'm here to discuss an extraordinary example of Pottery that will be selling in our October 28th auction. This jug, referred to as a shoe fly jug, is one of a few known salt glazed with cobalt decoration. And fitting with a field that's incredibly popular right now, that being African American related art and antiques. This piece, you can see, is decorated with an African American woman hanging around the jug's neck and swatting at a fly. Now, while she has a lot of hand-modeled elements, this fly is actually a small molded fly and applied to the shoulder. But you can see just how well crafted this figure is. With incised details to the face, heavy incised details to the hair, as the Kirkpatricks were known for really going overboard with their incised details, whether it's in inscriptions or in details accenting the figure's bodies on their jugs. You can see that they really spared no time in detailing this woman with incised accents. And we have little cuffs here on her dress or her blouse, stitch marks where the arms meet the body of the blouse. Heavily incised strokes here done with a different tool. It's actually gouged out, scored out, almost like sgraffito wear, forming the wrinkles in her dress. And then we have this great wavy hem to the bottom of the dress, legs with boots. And these shoes even have little incised heels and lace holes. You can see that this piece is nicely decorated with cobalt highlights to the dress, a spotted and striped pattern, as well as cobalt at the figure's neck and accenting her cuffs. And there's additionally some manganese or Albany slip highlights to the figure's shoes and hands, and possibly the face, as well as some cold paint throughout in the decoration, namely on the face and the hair, and on the fly at the shoulder. There's additionally a fly on the reverse, and we can see that the reverse is inscribed original package. And there's a fly heading up the woman's dress. And fitting with how the Kirkpatrick brothers really pushed the envelope with a lot of their work. Making political statements, making various sexual innuendos and things like that. This figure's actually not wearing anything under the dress. And the term original package likely refers to package laws from the second half of the 19th century, in which pieces of liquor objects could be stolen across state lines as long as they were kept in their original package. So keeping liquor in its original package was largely an issue of whether it was saleable or not. And apparently if it wasn't open or if it was rebottled, then if it was open or rebottled, that would become an issue with authorities. The term shoe fly here is inscribed at the top, and that term probably refers to this form. Around this time, sometime during the third quarter of the 19th century, a popular glass flask form came into being, known as the shoe fly flask. And that one had rounded sides, much like this has rounded sides, almost just like a standard jug. And you can see that as they were constantly playing around with words and different political statements and ideas, they're very much into wordplay. They have incorporated this flask form, a shoe fly flask, into the decoration of the piece. And so it's actually decorated with a figure actually shooing the fly. This term actually refers also to the "Shoo Fly Don't Bother Me" song for the Civil War era that was allegedly used by Civil War troops who were African American, or at least depicts a song sung by African American troops. Of course, nowadays we know it in a much more playful manner. You can see the underside is incised Anna Pottery, Anna Ill. So it has that great signature, there's no doubt. As to the maker of this piece. And that certainly adds strong appeal to it, that it actually carries the pottery signature on it. As I said, this was one of a few examples decorated with cobalt. To our knowledge, it's the best of those examples. Another example that we have seen has basically the entire skirt restored, and that is typical of other examples of this form made by the Kirkpatrick brothers. There's also Albany slip glazed examples known, many of which have damage to the skirt. As you can see just how fragile that is. One little slip and the whole skirt is wrecked. However, this example has a great provenance. It's descended in the Kirkpatrick family. It was actually purchased from a Kirkpatrick descendant sometime in the 1970s, and has remained with the family of the purchaser since that time. So this piece has only really been sold once before. It was sold in the 70s since it was made, and then now it will be offered in our October 28th auction. We're always excited to offer great figural decorated pieces of this quality in our sales, and we feel privileged to offer this in our upcoming auction.